What's going on, everybody? Travis here. Just going to be doing a review of the new Playboi Carti album out today. I liked it. It was pretty good. It's been half a decade since he's done anything. Much to people's surprise, he didn't come out with a single, didn't come out with a music video, came out with a whole motherfucking album. Needless to say, the long build-up was done for the sole purpose of keeping Carti a household name for as long as he can. Completely aware of how legendary and how much of an impact a whole lot of Red had. So there's a lot of impossible expectations for him to do an equally as good, if not better, record. One thing I praise Carti for, this album included, is his ability to convey a strong sense of urgency in his sound. Most rappers lack conviction and, in a musical sense, rely on large egos and larger-than-life attitude. He's got both attention-grabbing lyrics and a otherworldly flow to match. First track, Pop-Outs, decent opener, serving his expected style. I was a fan of the track K-Pop when it was released as Ketamine, and it's definitely the best track in the album. The Kendrick feature on Mojo Jojo is the most authentic personality Kendrick's shown on recording in many years. His ad-libs show that people should really come to terms with the fact that he isn't this lyrical rapper people make him out to be. And he already had more in common with this corner of music than people associate him with. First few songs on this record really give us what we've been waiting for as Carti fans. Fine Shit is a track that has an acceptable beat that could have gone a little longer. The song Radar was produced by Metro Boomin, naturally making it one of the best highlights on the record. Backdoor is one of the best things I've heard from Kendrick in many years, once again proving that his pen game is not the main attraction regarding his music, rather his ridiculous voice. The beat is produced by Kanye, and knowing his production techniques nowadays, it wouldn't surprise me if the whole thing was generated by AI. Does the job well enough. The track Toxic is a brief but striking moment for its feature from Skepta, who lays down a great verse. The next couple tracks, Munyon and Crank, don't add much to the album that the first 6 or 7 tracks didn't already. Future's verse didn't do much for me, but it's a bit entertaining to hear legends like those guys juxtaposed directly alongside comparatively circus acts like Carti. Good credit. Adds yet another Kendrick feature to this album, this one being the most animated of all his features. Unlike his previous appearances, this one is difficult to listen to for its contrast of like the previous more drugged out demeanor in the others. For this one, he decided to get a little closer to the bizarre world of Carti's albums, but it just ends up revealing how much he doesn't understand the slightest bit of what makes Carti's music, his delivery, so appealing. The tracks Wake Up Filthy, Jumpin' are pleasant features from the current rap industry titans, Lil Uzi Vert and Travis Scott. The song Trim has another feature from Future, and on his verse he appears to have woken up from his nap that he was taking on the last verse. The energy was pretty solid here, but the ad-libs here are pretty clownish. The next song, Cocaine Nose, is one of the best tracks for its many well-thought-out layers in the production and high energy level. Much like the rest of the record, the beat is super minimal, yet its aggressive spirit gets across a lot farther than the other attempts to do so on this. Young Thug shows up on the next song, We Need All the Vibes. He's always great. Young Thug's the best. Olympian's a very chill track, and another standout here for its perfect beat, especially pairing with Carti's style, creating a harmonious effect. OPM Babi is a decent song, but its ad-libs don't get any worse than this. They end up sabotaging the entire song. It's clear they wanted to add some dissonance and ultimately stand out in the loudness wars, but I'm not sure who will listen to this song and think that was a good idea. Like Wheezy's a dedication to Wheezy, who Carti's a big fan of. This one got it, has a pretty interesting horrorcore style beat, but besides that, it doesn't do much for me. I feel the same way about Walk, the next song, which is just too short to say anything about. But the beat was by Metro Boomin, so it's arguably a wasted beat, but there's not a lot of inspiration coming from Carti in the first place in his verses. HBA is a track I enjoyed for reasons that have more to do with the style than the track's substance. And after that, Overly is a forgettable song, but it includes some hilarious stock gunshot sound effects that you'd expect on like a Master P album from the mid-90s. And yet we're hearing the same exact sound 30 years later. The closing track, South Atlanta, is pretty decent. As disappointing as this record might be, to act like this is anything short of the greatest rap album of this year would be an abusively desperate lie.